Good morning, students. We've been looking at iron and steel industry, and we had seen how important role it plays in the economy and society of any country. Uh, so, the map which we studied yesterday, it shows certain major steel factories, which I told you are primarily and only the public sector undertakings. Don't get fooled by that map and those red dots only. There are many steel plants scattered around the country, which are privately owned and privately run. Okay, now coming to this paragraph here, which is a very important one, because if you look at the map, it appears and you would see that most of it is clustered around the areas which say Burnpur, Durgapur, Bokaro, Jamshedpur, Raulkela, and the reason for that is what is mentioned here. Here, if you look at it, yes, Chota Nagpur Plateau region has the max because those areas are known as Chota Nagpur areas, of course. The states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and areas of West Bengal. Chota Nagpur Plateau region has the maximum concentrate of iron and steel industry. It is largely because of the relative advantages this region has for the development. These include low cost of iron ore, high grade raw material in proximity, cheap labor, and vast growth potential in the home market. Now, students, this is very important here. Liberalization and foreign direct investment have given a boost to the industry with the efforts of private entrepreneurs. There is a need to allocate resources for research and development to produce steel more competitively. Students, you have to understand that in any manufacturing process, any kind of manufacturing process, maybe the basic methodology remains the same. Whether you talk about, say, for example, you must have studied the extraction of sulfur in the chemistry, or extract or steel manufacturing in chemistry. The basic things remain the same, but the whole ecosystem around it develops and evolves from time to time because new technology gets introduced. How you do it remains the same, more or less. Okay, any kind of manufacturing process, but the whole ecosystem around it changes. And someone who has been, or a factory or a country that has been more receptive to the advancing technology and has been more open to change, ultimately benefits to gain in the long run. Now, aluminium smelting. This is also another important aluminium manufacturing, which is very important for the Indian economy, and not just Indian economy. In today's world, you just cannot do without aluminium. Aluminium smelting is the second most important metallurgical industry in India. It is light, resistant to corrosion, and a good conductor of heat, malleable and becomes strong when it is mixed with other metals. It is used to manufacture aircraft, utensils, wires. It has gained popularity as a substitute of steel, copper, zinc, and lead in a number of industries. Aluminium smelting plants in the country are located in Orissa, West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. In 2014 and 15, India produced about 3.96 million tons of aluminium. Okay, so that is bauxite. The raw material used in the smelters is a very bulky, darkish red colored rock. The flow chart given below shows the process of manufacturing of aluminium. Regular supply of electricity and an assured source of raw material at minimum cost are the two prime factors for the location of this industry. Now, you would have to actually look at this bauxite, which happens to be the major and the most important source of aluminium, the raw material for aluminium, that is. Transport rail to the ship, bauxite crushed and alumina dissolved out, aluminium refinery, then bulk ore shipped to site of smelter, calcinated petroleum coke from a refinery, pitch from a colliery. Guys, calcinated bulk ship site of smelter. I told you smeltering happens to be the most important process, students, when you come to the extraction of any metal. And what is smelting? Smelting is essentially when you heat the ore at extremely high temperatures. Okay, then the the most important metal which is there, you know, that is easy to extract because now everything is molten liquid. You know, that is how metals are always extracted from their ores through the process of smelting. You heat them at extremely high temperatures. So how it is that is how it is done. Chemical industries. Students, chemical industries again is one of the very important industries which you would find in the countries which have high rate of industrialization, because chemical industries are not found in countries which lack in industrial growth. Okay, the chemical industry in India is the fastest growing and uh, diversifying. It contributes approximately 3% of the gross domestic product. It is the third largest in Asia and occupies 12th place in the world in terms of its size. So students, you have to, it's almost like a direct correlation, you know. It mentions chemical, we Indians produce the whatever chemicals that we produce, we rank 12th in the world. And if you look at our manufacturing data, the global manufacturing data, our ranking would be somewhere close to that. Because chemicals, you know, they are the most important ingredient of any manufacturing industry. And you think steel and these massive rope irons, they can be extracted without purifying them through chemicals? It's impossible. The cloth textile industry, everything uses chemicals, you know. So more the industrialization, the more chemicals you need, you know, because some kind of purification process, something or the other, that would involve chemicals. And we rank 12th in the world, because simply because of the important reason that in terms of manufacturing, we are definitely not in the top 3, top 4, or top 5 at all. We lag somewhere close to top 10. So that is the reason why even our chemical you know, production is somewhere there, because you know, someone needs to consume what I produce. And that is the reason why the number one chemical manufacturing country in the world today happens to be United States of America, right? Because their money, they have a very, very strong manufacturing base. And because they have a very strong manufacturing base, so naturally whatever they produce gets consumed by the market itself. And that is what is important, because chemicals, you have to understand, students, it is not very convenient to transport from one part of the world to the other. In a crude oil, of course, you can't do without it, right? You can't do without it. And all you have to take care of when it comes to crude oil is that, yes, because these things are highly inflammable, then yes, the fire safety standards are important. But chemicals is a different game altogether. Okay, it's a different thing altogether. Normally the countries would not be producing chemicals and then exporting it to different parts of the world. Chemical is a very unique kind of an industry where the people who manufacture chemicals, these top rates chemicals, would normally like to station their manufacturing units where the markets are close. They would not prefer the areas where the markets are very far off. And that exactly is the reason why you see the United States of America being the number one leader in chemical manufacturing. Then you know, the countries which rank second, third, fourth would be somewhere like Germany, and then Russia, and then China. Exactly the countries which are global leaders even in, yes, manufacturing. So it is almost like a direct relationship between chemical manufacturing and your industrialization, or the rate of industrialization. India lags behind in chemical manufacturing because we are not top leaders when it comes to industrial manufacturing as well. Inorganic chemicals include sulfuric acid used to manufacture uh, fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, adhesives, paints, dyes, stuffs, nitric acid, alkali, soda ash used to make glass, soaps and detergents, paper, caustic soda. These industries are widely spread over the countries. So Why do you think it is so? Organic chemicals include petrochemicals, which are used for manufacturing of synthetic fibers. But guys, you have to understand, organic chemicals, it is the gift of nature. You cannot manufacture crude oil. If you want to manufacture crude oil in India, you can actually produce the byproducts. You can use the products which can be extracted from the crude oil. But if mother nature has not blessed you with crude oil, like it has blessed all the Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Iran, United States and Russia, these countries have enormous amount of resources of crude oil because Mother Nature has gifted them that way. We have it, but not to the extent that we would ideally love to have. So that is the reason why you cannot start manufacturing it. We have to first import all that crude oil as a raw material, and then kind of you get into a manufacturing process whereby you start extracting the things that you need from that crude oil. So it is essentially a kind of an ore for you. So the chemical industry is its own largest consumer. Basic chemicals undergo processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application, agriculture, or directly for consumer market. Make a list of the products you are aware of. Now, fertilizer industry, of course, it happens to be an extremely important industry when it comes to country which depends so much on agriculture, and a country which has such an enormous population growth, where you have almost 1.3 billion people. So, you know, the importance of agriculture and feeding all these mouths cannot be emphasized further. We shall look into this chapter tomorrow. Thanks.